Swarajya Samrajya Vibhutiresha Bhavat Kripa Shri Mahima Prasadat Prapta Maya Shri Gurave Mahatmani Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namastasmai Sadaikasmai Kasmai Chinmahase Namaha Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate. Hari. Conflict between rituals and Vedanta. Actually, there is no conflict at all, but since the title is that, we have to deal with it. The question is that when we understand the purpose of rituals and purpose of Vedanta and we do the practice, then there is no conflict at all. We always often say that Bhakti Marg, Karma Marg, Jnana Marg, actually there is only one marg, mixture of all the three, everything. Jnana without Bhakti can hardly do anything. And bhakti without jnana is always going the wrong way, deluded. Karma without jnana is equally wrong. People say, I am doing karma yoga, karma yoga. What they are doing is karma, not karma yoga. That yoga part is absolutely in the buddhi level. Bhagavad Gita yoga, we say karma yoga, but repeatedly it says it is buddhi yoga because it is in the understanding of the mind. The karma doesn't get changed. Whatever you do, you remain doing that. Only what you expect from the karma, that undergoes a drastic change. So when we actually practice, it all becomes different. We won't have any conflict at all. As long as we are not practicing, we are not sure about the way also, then there is a problem. Suppose yesterday we were discussing about Karma-kanda and Jnana-kanda. Yesterday we started with the Vedas to give it a fundamental basis. And Karma-kanda is the ritualistic part of the Vedas. Rituals means it can be anything regarding the small practices, acharas, to yaga, yajna, puja, everything. They are called the rituals. Rituals in karma, actually it is meant karma. And jnana is actually the vichara. We have a common term called achara and vichara. Achara means whatever we do practically as rituals, as we are saying, all the practices we follow. And vichara means discrimination. That is always understanding the aim of life, where lies happiness, and working according to that. And looking always within to find out where I am going wrong, where I am, what I have to do. So, vichara starts with, it is not just discrimination in English as we understand. The better word will be introspection. That is, discrimination a scientist will be able to do very well about the objective world, about life also he may do. But we don't call it vichara. Vichara we call, generally the closer term will be introspection. That is, we try to understand our mind, and where the mind is going wrong, we have to set it right. When we follow, then only it is vichara. Now in the Brahma Sutras, it is the first sutra is Athato Brahma Jidyasa. Brahma Sutra, Brahman means it is the starting, Brahman is the ultimate reality. So it deals with the jnana, to understand the truth, understand our life, understand the world, understand the aim, or if at all there is aim or not. So Shankaracharya has written quite a few pages on this first sutra. Why this atha and ataha? That now therefore is athato brahma jidyasa. Now therefore is the enquiry into the ultimate truth, the absolute truth. That means that now and therefore means, now means there is something behind that, before that. That means it is not the initial stage of evolution of human being. It is the last stage actually. Jnana is the last stage. Bhagavad Gita repeatedly reminds us that Jnanagni sarva karmanam bhasmasat kurute arjuna. That all the karmas, they get completely dissolved in this knowledge. Thereafter, whatever he does, what he doesn't, it doesn't matter at all. Now, this now therefore, something is before that, and therefore, what is this therefore? He says that the ritualistic part of the Vedas, it is supposed to cultivate some qualities in us, some virtues in us. That means if we do the yaga, yajna, or the various other practices, acharas, as we do, then they are supposed to purify our mind, emotions, buddhi, everything. They are supposed to inculcate some virtues in us. And if the rituals are able to inculcate those virtues, then we become fit for the knowledge. So there is a fitness criterion here. Everywhere there is a fitness criterion, we don't think deeply about it. Suppose can anybody be put in charge of the nuclear bomb? He may misuse it. He may anytime. Even in Mahabharata you will find that Dronacharya, his own son Ashwatthama, was not given the Brahmastra because of his unbridled mind. The father thought that he is not fit. Father and the greatest master of that period. He thought that my son is not fit. So for anything there is a fitness. Suppose we want to do PhD, they will ask for your postgraduate qualities, post-graduation certificate, because then only you become fit for that. Some people may become fit by not passing through the school or college also. Why? By passing through the school or college, we are supposed to generate a certain amount of knowledge about the subject in which we want to do research or PhD. Now, if somebody develops that knowledge without going through the school or college, say Rabindranath Tagore, he never studied. Or, of course, he did not do PhD also, that was not necessary. Even in Einstein's case also many things are pointed out that he did not go through the usual. Whatever it is, that whatever is the fitness to pursue the research, if it happens without going through the school and college also, he will be fit to do the research or PhD. So, we have a standard certain practices to generate some qualities in us, some virtues in us, or some fund of knowledge in us, which will make us fit for something else. But where lies the truth there? Is it going through school and college, or is it in generating the fundamental knowledge? Tell me. If somebody goes to the school and college, even has very good rank also, but has not got the fundamental knowledge, will he be fit? He will not be fit. So here also it is like that. Suppose you have done all the yaga, yajna, everything. The greatest Ashwamedha yaga also you have done. And you have not developed the qualities needed to make you fit for pursuing the knowledge. Then you are not a fit pursuer. To explain this, the Upanishads, particularly Katha Upanishad, explains it very well. Other Upanishads also it is there, Mundaka Upanishad also it is there. What is it? It has taken the help of a story. That Vajasravas was a great Karma-kandi. Karma-kandi means those who are given to rituals and all. Vajasravas had a son called Nachiketa, 7 years old or 8 years old. Now, in 2-3 shlokas they are showing, that the author is showing, that Vajasravas also, he was doing one of the greatest sacrifice, yaga. It is called Vishwajit yaga. Like Ashwamedha, it is also a big yaga. All cannot do. Ashwamedha yaga is only set for very big kings and all. All cannot do. But for people, each level, there are so many kinds of yagas there. Now, he was doing the Vishwajit yaga. That means he had been performing other yagas also, and he is attempting to perform one of the biggest yaga to ensure heaven after the body falls. Whatever may be the aim, we will come to it later. But he was performing the yaga. And what he was doing, his son Nachiketa, who was only a Kishora, only 7-8 years old, he had not done any yaga. He has only undergone some basic studies, and he had lot of inbuilt virtues by birth maybe. So Nachiketa was seeing his father doing the yaga, and at the end of the yaga, they are supposed to do dana. Dana means gifting. In that, he saw his father gifting the wrong items. In one verse, he describes what are the kind of cows he was giving. I want to read the whole thing, it's interesting. Na? Pitodaka jagdatrina dugdhadoha nirindriyaha ananda namate lokaha tan sagacchati tadadat. This is the third verse of the third shloka of the Upanishad, Katha Upanishad. I have taken all these things here maybe more than once. Pitodaka. The description is very interesting. Pitodaka means the cow which has drunk water for the last time. Pita udaka. Udaka means water. Pita means वो पी लिया है. जितना पीने का है life में पी लिया. Whatever to be drunk in the life, he has already drunk. That means ayush is very little is left. If you don't understand any of the words, or you can raise your hand and tell me, because I don't know who knows how much of Hindi and Sanskrit, so we have to take a moderate way. Jagdha trina, that means trina means grass. Jagdha means chewing, digesting. So Jagdha trina is referring, this is also a speciality of Sanskrit. Jagdha trina is referring to a cow. That means a cow which has eaten its grass. That is, no further it will eat. Dugdha doha, it will, all milk has been taken away, it will no more going to yield any milk. Nirindriyaha, maybe one eye is not there, or one teeth is not there, one leg is broken. That means some of the organs are defective. He says that these are the kinds of cow my father is gifting to whom? The priest who had performed the yaga for him. It's not to ordinary seekers also. He is giving it to the priests who are the most honored, who is playing the most honored role in the yagas, and who are actually reserving the heaven, the seat in the heaven for him. To them he is giving these items. Now Nachiketa, by his samskara, you understand the culture, the whatever quotient he had. He understood that my father is absolutely wrong. What is he doing? To the priest he is giving this kind of cows. Even if you don't have anything, you should not give this. So he was very worried about it. He says that ananda namate lokaha tan gacchati, tan sagacchati tadadata. A person who gifts this kind of material, he goes to the ananda, means a place where there is no joy at all. That means naraka, as we say, hell. He doesn't go to the heaven, he goes to the hell where there is no joy at all. Ananda, Nanda means ananda. Nanda means joy, Ananda means no joy. Ananda means again joy. Now he might have read, because in the initial lessons also it is there, all there in the Taittiriya Upanishad, that in gifting how a person should gift. He said, Riyadeyam, Shriyadeyam, Shraddhayadeyam, Ashraddhaya Adeyam. Like that, there are so many principles that the moral codes are given. That when you gift something, you should give with Shraddha. Shraddha means you understand the value of it, you understand the person to whom you are giving, what will be utility for him. If to a person who is blind, if you gift a book which has to be read, then it is ashraddha deya. You are giving with, not with shraddha. A book will be of no use to him. Or a very colorful thing you are giving where he has to enjoy the beauty of it, he will not be able to. You should give him something which he can utilize. Hriyadeyam, Shriyadeyam, Hriyadeyam. You should give with enough of humility, shyness, that will you mind if I give you something, will it be of any use? It's not that, oh, hum bade hain, hum de rahe hain. I have something and I am just throwing it to you. We generally give it like that, na? To poor people, that somebody has come to ask. We don't think about him at all. We just simply give it whatever we have. And sometimes just like Vajasravas, whatever is not usable for us, we give it. What there is no use in the household, you want to dispose it off. He says, no, it cannot be given like that. You must give with a lot of humility, telling that unless the receiver is there, can I get the joy of giving? Suppose even in our Dana Satra and all, we are gifting because there are poor people to take it. Suppose there are no poor people to receive anymore, then we will not have the joy of giving also. So we should honor them that you are giving me a scope for gifting. And give like that. Shriyadeyam. When you are giving, you give according to your status and their need also. Suppose somebody has to undergo an operation where 5 lakhs of rupees have to be spent. To him, if you give only 10 rupees, is there any point? If you cannot give, if you don't have, you tell openly, him humbly, that I understand that it's a great day, but I don't have the money to give anything more than some meager amount. Will it be of any help if I give like that? Many people together, small amount also may help. With that idea, you can ask and you can give it humbly. Otherwise, if you have the money and then you give it according to your capital. That is, suppose somebody is a crorepati, is a billionaire. He should give according to that. Looking into the cause for which he is gifting, the necessity of that, he should give according to that. If somebody is having only, say, 100 or thousands, he will give according to that. But he should try to give thinking about the cause for which he is giving and not. So there are various, I would say, gems in our literature which we never study, we never bother to study, or even if somebody is there to tell us also, we don't come to listen to that also. No. After knowing, we have to follow it. We don't care to follow it also. But it's all, our literature is full of these things. This is our country where All these things are prehistoric. It's not the present generation of managers writing books on value system and all. It's all written in great detail. We only need go into it, understand it. Translations are also there. Everything is available. But we don't care to know of it. We are so enamored with the material civilization of the West that we think that that is the greatest in life. So, Nachiketa had read perhaps all these things, otherwise also he had the culture to know. So what can he do? He thought that my father will be going to hell, to joyless place, unhappy place. How can I save my father? Now, in each word they are showing how cultured Nachiketa was. I am using the word cultured in a very deep sense, profound sense, not in ordinary sense. Because he could have thought many things, even blaming his father. He was not blaming his father. He understood his father is not doing the right thing. And being a good son, how could he protect his father from any inauspicious development which may come out of the wrong gift given by his father? How can I protect my father from any inauspicious development like that? His mind was thinking in that manner. Always we should, whenever we read this, we should compare with our mind. Will I think like that? That when something is wrong, is it not we are out to blame, where we are also doing the wrong things? If somebody else is doing, we are only blaming him. We never think that I also do in some other sphere, in some other level, maybe I also am doing it, and think about it. So Nachiketa thought that he had read that the gifting a son is the greatest gift one can do, and a good son particularly. So Nachiketa thought, I am a good son of my father. If my father gifts me to the priest or to somebody, then whatever adverse development may come by the wrong gifts, that will be compensated by gifting me to somebody. So he approaches his father and asks that, Father, to whom you are going to gift me? It's only with a good thinking, with a noble thinking about his father, that he is ready to go anywhere. It's a great sacrifice also, asking the father that to whom you are going to gift me. But the father, a person, whenever they do anything wrong, they know in their inmost level, they know where they are wrong. So there is a guilt feeling will be there in them. So the moment Nachiketa asked it, his father got annoyed because he knew that he is giving the wrong gift. So he understood also the son has known that I am giving the wrong thing. So he did not look at him. So Upanishad says once, twice, thrice Nachiketa asked. Then the father got annoyed and he said that Mrityave tam dadamiti. I will give you to the Lord of Death. What does it mean? Giving the son to the Lord of Death? You understand how much angry he was with it. Here it ends. They are not spoken much about it. Why? Because they only wanted to show that if you don't pursue the prescriptions given for a certain rituals, yaga, yajna, puja, whatever you do, puja or feeding, poor feeding, whatever you do, if you don't do it properly, then you will not have the virtues which are necessary to take to the path of knowledge or Vedanta. Vedanta means the next part of the Vedas, that is the knowledge part of the Vedas. So it shows that although Nachiketa's father was not fit for the knowledge, later behavior of Nachiketa and this also will show that Nachiketa was fit for the knowledge. And that is why when finally Yamaraja, he passed all the tests put by Yamaraja. It's like some are imagery, some are our stories always will be part imagination, part reality. But the purpose is not in the story, the purpose is in the lesson, to learn everything. So here the guru, the instructor is Yamaraja and the disciple is Nachiketa. So to show that what are the qualities a disciple should have, a fit disciple of knowledge, what are the qualities he should have, they have taken the example of Nachiketa. And what Nachiketa, who when father said that I will give it to Yamaraja, he went to Yamaraja. That means he was so obedient, so courageous, he had no thought of, even he had no fear of death. If somebody says that you die, will we be ready to die? Because we have lot of vasanas for life and all, we are not ready to accept death easily. But here is a small boy, young boy of 7-8 years old. He is ready to even embrace death if it is necessary, and he doesn't have any duvidha, any doubt or dilemma about it at all. Straight away he goes, he does it. And his behavior with Yamaraja also, it is shown again and again that how much desireless his mind was, how much courageous he was, how much straightforwardness he had. So much so that finally the Yamaraja says that, oh Nachiketa, more and more disciples like you should come to us. Here is the Brahma Sadhana, wide open, the palace of Brahman, wide open before you. You simply enter. You have all the qualities to enter. These statements, they mean that you are fit for the knowledge and I will give you the knowledge. It comes much later after testing Nachiketa. Now this story and all I have, last year also I have done, I believe. Is it not so, Pankaj? Kathopanishad? Now here we are quoting this only to say the compare between ritual and jnana. So I am saying that in the Vedas, whenever a yaga, yajna is prescribed, so the rituals are prescribed, it is equally applicable to pujas also. We all do puja. We may not do yaga, yajna, they are outdated almost. Very rarely it happens. But we do puja. For that also prescriptions are there. But nobody is there to look into the Upanishads or Vedas or any Shastra, so to say, that how am I to do the puja. See, here we behave absolutely foolishly. I will use harsh term, because in taking food, suppose you are eating food, but the hunger is not satiated. Will you not question the food, that is it a dream or am I eating really? Or what kind of a food it is that it doesn't fulfill me, my hunger? But in doing puja and all, we go on doing the puja for 20 years, 40 years, 70, 80, 90 years, never inquiring that have I progressed even one step? Has God come near to me by a few steps? Or have I gone near to God by a few steps? Never. No inquiry, nothing. जो पूजा करना है सुबह जाते हैं, चढ़ाते हैं, वो करते हैं, वापस आते हैं, बस हो गया. क्यों करते हैं? कोई नहीं जानता है. Whereas it is everywhere the direction is given how it is to be done, and they are very simple. But these simple things will be difficult to pursue because our mind has become polluted. As Nachiketa's father was not able to give the correct things. Why? The mind was polluted. And that makes him unfit for the knowledge. So, truly speaking, these virtues are called sadhana chatushtaya. That is the fourfold qualities a person becomes fit for knowledge. What are that? I have discussed that also earlier. Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadamadi, Shatka Sampatti, Mumuksha. These are the four qualities. I will not go into the details so much. Viveka means to understand what will take me to the permanent, unchanging immortality also. Let us not go to such high words. I will simply say that initial stage, Viveka means what will keep me on the auspicious path of evolution and what will take me away from the path of auspicious development. That which keeps us on the path of auspicious growth is called Shreyas. That is, we are concerned, we are conscious of the ultimate auspicious aim, that is called Shreyas. So what will keep me on the path of Shreyas? And Preyas means which is immediately pleasant but which will take me away from the auspicious path. That anybody can judge and find out. So, Viveka means always remaining, the buddhi remaining anchored in that awareness that am I aware, am I conscious of the ultimate fulfillment of life, goal of life? And am I taking the step which I am taking now with that goal in mind? Or I am only becoming slave to the enjoyments, slave to the sensory pleasure and all. Then it is taking me away, but the sensory pleasures might be there. Whereas for taking to the auspicious path, I may have to sacrifice some of the pleasures of life, but still I would do it so that I can reach the auspicious goal. So that is called the viveka. Now if we cultivate this viveka, automatically vairagya will dawn. Vairagya, you have a simple idea that it is leaving the house and going away. It's not at all. It's nothing to do with that. Vairagya means viraga. It has come from viraga. Raga means color. Raga means clinging to something because of its color, because of its certain pleasant qualities. Vairagya means not to have this partiality. We are always partial. Suppose something is even bad for the body also, because of its taste we are taking it. We are clinging to that. We have a raga for that. Like that, for everything in life we cling to things which are pleasant, but not thinking about the ultimate auspicious goal. So when the viveka dawns, it will automatically give us the idea that what is that, take away the clinging nature of our mind, clinging to the sensory pleasures, clinging to what is immediately pleasant. So suppose somebody understands very well, he can discriminate between what is shreyas and what is prayas. But knowing that also he doesn't take to the shreyas, he takes to the prayas. Then we don't call it viveka at all. It could be English discrimination, but we won't accept that viveka. Viveka means what we have found to be the higher, the proper path, he will take to that, he will stick to that. Then only it is viveka. So naturally when such a viveka is there, it will develop some impersonality in our views, some uniformity in our views, not clinging to what I like and not hating what I dislike. This is very important. That vairagya means not clinging to what I like and not hating what I dislike. We are given to always clinging and hating. So it loosens our slavery to the worldly attraction and repulsion. Can I say that? We are generally slave to the worldly attraction and repulsion. But it loosens those bondages. Then immediately follows this, further I will not go into the detail, the Shadga Sampatti means sixfold treasure. Sixfold treasure. Now this treasure is in spirituality, no treasure is external treasure. All the treasures are within. So it again means sixfold virtues, sixfold qualities within us. And they are considered to be the greatest treasure in life. When we take to spirituality, they are the treasures. Money and other things are not considered to be treasures. You may have money, you may not have money, but this treasure you have to have. What are they? Shama, Dama, Titiksha, Uparati, Shraddha, Samadhana. These are the qualities. Should adorn you. And when those qualities come in sufficient measure, then finally dawns mumuksha. We say that moksha, moksha, I want moksha. Nobody understanding moksha, we say I want moksha. Mumuksha comes at the last point. What is mumuksha? Wherever it means that liberation from the bondages. So where will be the liberation? Liberation wherever we feel I am bound, I am not able to follow the path. Suppose I want to become good, but I am not able to become good. I want to love everybody, but I am not able to love even my brother, and I always end up hating him or criticizing him or even so many other things. We are not even able to love our spouses also. We want to love, but we are not able to. These are all bondages. Everything we find bound, that is whatever I would like to do, I am not able to do. That means there is some slavery, there is some bondage. So I want to get rid of all these bondages. When the mind feels like that the world I have created more and more bondage. As long as I have lived in this world, I was born not so bound. I had some little desires for maybe some little playing or drinking a little milk or so. And through the sadhana of life for 60, 50, 70 years, what I have gained, I have created all kinds of bondages. Is it not true? From as we have grown, we should become freer. But we have become more and more bound, more and more slave. We have created all the slavery for us by our life. Once we understand this and we want to become free, then that is called the mumuksha, that we want to get rid of this slavery. So it comes much later when all these qualities, they adorn us, then only truly this mumuksha dawns. And then we become fit for this supreme knowledge which is called Vedanta. Now you can see that in becoming fit for this supreme knowledge also we have got all the qualities we look for in life, in spirituality. Even by bhakti, devotion, karma yoga, etc. Are we not looking for this? So they will all make us fit for knowledge. So when we are pursuing the knowledge of Vedanta, the knowledge of Upanishads, if we don't cultivate these qualities, then the knowledge is only a bookish knowledge, it is only trash. Such a knowledge will not work. It is like the picture of a fire. The fire, the property of fire, it burns. Jnanagni sarva karmanam bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. Sarva karmanam to. Karmani or karma? Karmani. Oh, it is, sorry. It is second, Dvitiya also is karma, karmani, karmani. No? Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. It burns all the karmas. Knowledge is like that. It's like fire. So suppose there is fire and you look at it, that is fire, it is this, it is that, you describe the fire. Then will it give you the heat? Fire means when you come close to the fire, when you touch the fire will burn you. The fire should spread in you. Like that, the knowledge, if you look from a distance and this is Atma, this is, what is the Atma? Atma is our real identity. You know everything about Atma and this is Atma. But when I am concerned, I am small, selfish, I cannot live this, I can give only the dirty cows. So, the conflict is not there. It is because we are not properly taking to the path of knowledge. We are trying to think that it is just like the knowledge of physics, chemistry, mathematics, the spiritual knowledge is that. But it is not so. The spiritual knowledge is about our real identity, which is universal. The quality of that is it never gets affected by anything. It never gets touched by anything. You cannot enclose it by anything. It is not an object at all which can be enclosed. It is the consciousness in which the whole universe appears to be. So, if there is a smaller term, it is bigger than the whole universe even. But it is not bigger in that sense because it is not an object. It is smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest, Upanishad says, which is a contradiction. Why? Because it is not in the objective field at all. It cannot be seen with any of the sense perceptions. It cannot be inferred also. It is self-revealing. Self-revealing. Yesterday I said aparoksha. It is that. So, the real knowledge, unless we pursue it it is basically inculcation of virtues. What are the virtues? It is the expansion of the mind. It is making the small, self-centric, selfish mind universal. It is making the mind which is slave to the objective situations, objects and all, making that mind free of all its slavery. It is making the mind purer than the purest, where there is no desire, no expectation, nothing. Unless we pursue these qualities, then it is not that Vedantic knowledge at all. So the confusion comes from there. That Vedanta will say that everything is soul, everything is Brahman. So why should I prostrate before the Guru? Or why should I go to the temple? That is not Vedanta. As yesterday I said, the person who was a staunch Vedantin, he said that something happened in the family. He said, all of you have somebody to pray to. You have a God to pray to. I am a Vedantin, I don't have a God to pray to. Where lies my solace then? Then what kind of a Vedantin you are? So, all the rituals, acharas that is mentioned in the Karma-kanda of the Vedas or in any Shastras, they are all to bring in some change in our personality. They are supposed to discipline our personality. They are supposed to purify our personality. But because we are adamant, we are not given to this pursuit of purification, transformation, etc. So the Vedas have taken a very clever way for that. They know that everybody has got desire. And this desire is not only for this life. When the body falls, still they want the same happiness to be available. So catch hold of the mind there. They will say that if you do this yaga, then you will go to there are various heavens. You will go to this loka, that heaven, etc. But while doing this, you have to follow all its prescriptions fully. If you miss in this or in that or in some prescription, then instead of going to this heaven, you will go to the hell. What kind of hell? Although also the description is there. 600 kinds or more are hells are there. You will be fried in hot oil, or there will be always all kinds of thorns pricking you. There are various kinds of hells, depending on where you have missed, it will be there. So they are only to make you attentive to whatever you are doing. Now this attention is the basic spiritual sadhana which we miss, we don't have. We are always inattentive in our work. Are we not? Even in the ashram also we find we are inattentive. While serving people, already on the plate so much of rice is there. Again we will ask, do you need rice for that? Or some one sabji is there, another two sabjis are not there. We will come with the sabji which is there and we will ask, do you need it? This kind of attention also we have. While pouring water or buttermilk, sometimes we will pour only this much in the glass. Sometimes it will overflow, not knowing that the person will not be able to take it. It will fall from the glass. These are all inattention. In fact, those who are taking regularly food in that nakshatra, we should know how much of rice he takes, what are the sabjis he likes. All these things, if you are attentive, we will know. People will be so happy to take food there. If you feed somebody with that kind of attention, who will not be happy? These are all there. We have to only pursue. So what will happen? Why our mind is not attentive? You think about it. Why the mind is not attentive to anything we do? It's because of desires. It is only because of desires. While chanting in the morning, we will think of meditation. While meditating, we will think of Annakshetra. While in the Annakshetra, we will think of puja. Because we are never happy doing anything. We have not done anything properly. So the mind is always taken away by, oh, उसने वो कहा था, कल उसको अच्छी तरह सुना देंगे. That man spoke to me something I did not relish. So next day, tomorrow when I see him, I will give him a lesson. That also we are thinking while taking food. That is why we said that Brahmarpanam Brahmahavik, you chant, and then there are so many shlokas we do. Why? To make the mind fully attentive to your food and not with your greed or glutton or anything. The food which will be nourishing your body, which will cultivate good qualities in your sattva guna in your body, you should take only that, and only to that extent which is necessary for the body to grow well. Not overeating, not taking something which is poisonous to the body. So the achara is given that before in our country we were not supposed to, suppose when the food is served, if something is which I like, immediately we will start taking. What do we say? We said no, allow everybody to be served. Then you take a little water, then do the Brahmarpanam or Annapurne, Sadapurne, that I am getting the food today. Is it not a great blessings of nature or Shiva or Parvati or Deva, whatever we have, we may say. The fact is that we may not get the food also. To remember that we are blessed, that we are having food every day. So before food, if we take all those things, chant all those things, what will happen is that mind will not be guided by greed, taste, everything, particularly greed. And the mind will be free. We will take only what is necessary to be taken. But if you don't follow the ritual, then why are you not following? Because your mind is attracted by one food, or it is hateful about some others. Suppose some food is served which you do not like, bland something which you do not like, then also the mind gets टेढ़ा हो जाता है ना. So these are all because of desires in the mind. So all the acharas or the rituals are designed in the manner that they will make our mind free from various kinds of desires, slavery, preference, prejudice, hatred, dislike, like, everything, and make our mind free. Like that, all the disciplines that are mentioned about doing a yaga also, it is only to make our mind free of all these things. And why at the end of each yaga there is a gifting ceremony? Because that is the most common disease we have in us, the smallness of the mind, the selfishness of the mind. Our Upanishads are always saying that yatra vishva bhavati ekanidam, that your mind should become such that it is the one nest, the whole world will become one nest. You understand? Like a bird's nest, the whole world will be in your mind. So that you are rid of the selfishness. As long as you are thinking of, as long as you are haunted by selfishness, is it not you are reinforcing your smallness of that identity I, which I was talking yesterday? Anything selfish means this is what I am and all others are different. Whereas Vedantic knowledge is that I am one only and the whole universe is in me. I am the one Atma. So if we become selfish, if we become haunted by likes and dislikes, greed and hatred, then always by these tendencies, we are reinforcing our smallness of the identity again and again throughout the day, throughout life. So where is the question of Vedantic knowledge there? Vedantic knowledge means expanding the mind, expanding the intelligence, making it free of all likes and dislikes, making it free of all kinds of clinging, hatred, everything, making it like the sky. That means Vedanta means generating a sky-like dimension in our mind. Even more than the sky, a spatial dimension or even something greater than that, because that is also in the objective ken. It is going beyond the objective ken. So, it is not a knowledge to be taken from the book. It is the cultivation of this mindset, transformation of this mindset, transformation of the buddhi to that loftiest level. So if you suppose go on reading the Shastras, master all the Upanishads, all the Vedas, but you don't grow in the mind, then is it Vedanta? It is not Vedanta. It is only the book that you are gulping. So when we understand like that, the rituals are supposed to create the same virtues which are taken to a higher and higher level, further greater level through the Vedantic pursuit. It is a pursuit. It is not a knowledge like the knowledge of physics, chemistry, mathematics. It's a knowledge about our own self, which means transformation at every level. When we go into the acharas and rituals, you will find everything is mentioned there. The fundamental point in puja is Devo Bhutva Devan Apyeti. If you are doing a Vishnu puja, you can never, the puja is never complete unless you become Vishnu. Becoming Vishnu, you have to do it. What does it mean? We have the idea of Vishnu of 4 hands and holding this. So you put 2 more hands and hold Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, you will become Vishnu. No. Shastras clearly say that Vishnu means Vyapnoti iti Vishnu. Vishnu means the reality which is all pervading, which can never be missed. That is the Atma, the soul, the consciousness. So becoming Vishnu means you forgo all your limitations, all your constrictions, all your selfishness, all your likes and dislikes. The mind should become like the sky before you do your puja every morning. By becoming sky-like, having a sky-like mind, your puja becomes successful right there. And as you pursue it, every day you will find that it is becoming easier and easier. And not only during puja, throughout the day your mind is remaining sky-like. A sky-like dimension will dawn in our mind. We don't have to run after it or try to acquire it. It will become our nature. You will find that the present hatred and blaming tendencies, whatever we are hosting in the mind, you will understand they are polluting my mind. Nothing is happening to anybody else. All those thoughts, the intentions, all those thought processes, everything, it is only polluting our mind. So automatically you will refuse to accept them. They will free your mind. The mind will become purer and purer. So the puja, every day when you look, you analyze that I have been doing puja, you will not have to analyze even, you will find that every day your mind is becoming more and more airy, more and more loving. You will find that people whom you were not able to love, you are able to love. Does not puja also says that your God is everywhere? Look for the God in everybody, even in your enemy. What does it mean? It all means this, that expansion of the mind, the purity of the mind, the spatial dimension of the mind. The same thing is knowledge. Knowledge makes the mind like that. So if we understand rituals, fine. If we understand knowledge, fine. There's no difference, no clash, no contradiction at all. Our country, everything is based on this ultimate knowledge of truth, our immortality and the oneness. So you will find maybe this is the nature which has been graceful to our country in this manner. There might be various other bad qualities in our people also, in our country, nation also. But nature has been very lavish in gifting this loftiest mindset to our civilization. That we should appreciate. Everything here, whether it is music, dance, art, education, everything is based on this fundamental fulcrum of the unity in diversity. That is the greatness of our country. The one truth in everything, the one Atma everywhere. Atma, you will not find the plural used anywhere in Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads. It is always used in singular. Deha is used in plural, but the Atma is never plural. It is always singular because it is only one. In our country, the Vaichitra means the variety. You will not find this kind of variety anywhere perhaps in the world. Variety in everything, variety in dress, variety in food, variety in language, variety in practices, variety in puja, deva. We have 33 crores of devas and devis. As many there were people, there were devas and devis. We have accepted all that. There is no contradiction at all because we said that suppose 5 million people are worshipping Shiva. Is it the same Shiva that they are worshipping? Because Shiva is a construct of your mind. So each person worshipping his own Shiva. The concept in his mind is definitely different from in the mind of A is definitely different from the mind of B. So is it not that each mind has got a deva of its own, Ishtadeva of its own? You may call many millions of them as Shiva, many millions of them as Kali, but the Kali is different in each mind. Understanding that, we have never ever tried to ban the variety. The variety is encouraged, not to create a division, but to unify, to generate the harmony in the variety. unity in diversity. That has been the cultural ethos of our country. So rituals are also many, but the knowledge is only one. But in setting the acharas means these practices. For example, I said now there is no yaga, jajja, etc. But in changing the acharas, the direction is given that vichara will not change. The one truth will never change. So any achara you introduce or you eliminate, it should be based on vichara. And there the rationality is given the highest position. That whatever you do it around the single truth of the Upanishads. That will never change. That is why you will find in our country from time to time various samhitas are there. Samhita, that Yajnavalkya Samhita, Manu Samhita, like that. Various samhitas are there. This samhita means constitution. Now in the democratic level we have the Indian constitution. That is this present samhita written in 1952 and 1950. Like that we had samhitas and they were undergoing changes depending on the societal condition, it will even, the achara will change. Suppose the number of female is too much compared to the number of male. Then one male will have to marry more number of female. If there is number of male is more than the number of female, then one female will marry more male. All these are allowed. Depending on the social situation, on the national situation, the acharas will change. But never to miss that whatever new acharas we design or we practice or which have to be banned, the direction should be vichara based on the ultimate single truth of our own real identity. That is our dharma.
Swami, I have just a question. In all the Upanishad, the jnana starts with the question. In Mundaka Upanishad, Kimnu Bhagavate
Kasminnu Bhagavo Vijñāte Sarvamidam Vijñātam Bhavati.
And Svetasvara Upanishad, Brahma Badino Badanti. And in Prashna Upanishad, how these prajan prajayante eti. So my question is, are all the questions in Upanishads knowledge-based? And the teacher's explanation is further expansion of the knowledge. Thank you.
Yeah. No doubt about it. They have, because people are different in each Upanishad, they have taken a different background to suit a certain way of enquiry. Everywhere it is only enquiry, not only the starting point. You will find our Shastras are written mostly, not only the Upanishads or Vedas, but even the Prakarana Granthas, mostly in conversational form. Because that keeps the interest of the reader. Suppose I go on speaking, after some times I will find that you have started yawning. So we have made it interactive session. Although nobody asked any questions what to do, so I go on speaking again. But actually it should be interactional to keep it more vibrant, and then only our questions our mind will be properly addressed. Suppose you don't open your mouth, then I will not know what you have understood. But when anybody asks a question, then immediately understand where it has gone wrong, what I wanted to say, where it has been understood and where it has not been understood, so I will be able to clarify. So conversational mode of discussion is the most appropriate, and our Shastrakaras have all followed it. The problem is that we don't read. We don't know what treasure we miss, what treasure they have kept for prehistoric times. Bhagavad Gita is 5,150 or so. But Bhagavad Gita only is a later Shastra. Bhagavad Gita Su, Upanishad Su. Bhagavad Gita is a summary of the Upanishads. They were existing from the prehistoric times. It's all there, everything is there. How to live our life properly, how to make our life happy, everything has been discussed in so many ways. And you cannot say that Sanskrit I don't know. All are translated now. Now in this era, everything translations are available. Even if you read the Chandrasekhara Bharati's conversation, that book is there. How brilliantly he has discussed the modern problems, Chandrasekhara Bharati of Sringeri.
In that context, Swamiji, how do you explain that chapter 7, 9, 15 has no question?
No, it's not that Bhagavad Gita, everywhere there has to be a question. Wherever necessary, they have put the question. But in reading, the way we should read Bhagavad Gita is to, whenever we are reading, we should go back to Arjuna's question. What was the last question and how he is explaining, or whatever the first question. That will give us much more solid contextual information.
Questions?
Everywhere there may not be. Suppose Kathopanishad, only 2 questions are there for Nachiketa. The Kathopanishad is based on 2. Only 2 questions. There are so many chapters. But to understand the 2 questions properly itself is understanding the whole thing. The second question is so erudite, even the scientists will be surprised to see that these thoughts were there at that time. He is asking, the first question is simple, what happens when the body falls? Some say something is there, some say nothing is there. I would like to know the truth of it by undergoing your tutelage. It's a simple question, but it means a lot. That he did not say, you tell me yes or no. That means Nachiketa was already knowing that the answer cannot be yes and no. I would like to know the truth, learn the truth by remaining under your tutelage. That means it needs an evolution, a transformation of my mind and intelligence to understand what is the reply. That's very important, but generally we miss it. The second question, after passing through all the tests given by Yamaraja, he is asking, then Yamaraja started telling him about various things of sadhana. He says that I am not interested in that. Nachiketa is not interested in all these things. If you know something like this, you tell me. That is the second question. What is the question? Anyatra dharmad, anyatra adharmad, anyatra asmat krita kritat, anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha yat pashyasi, yat tat pashyasi tad vada. If you see anything like that, you tell me. Yat tat pashyasi tad vada. What? Like what? Anyatra dharmad, anyatra adharmad. That is, if you know, we have learnt about the codes of morality, the dharma and adharma, or it's not just code of morality, much more than that, but let us say dharma and adharma. If you know anything which transcends both dharma and adharma, generally our religions are only speaking about dharma, that too not in the dharma in our sense, in a very limited sense. And he wants to know something which transcends both dharma and adharma. Until we have developed a certain kind of a impersonality, not to hate adharma also, we will not look for it. So Nachiketa's mind had already gained that kind of an impersonality, which is transcending both dharma, adharma. You tell me. What is the next? Anyatra asmat krita kritat. The whole world, everything is related by causality, cause and effect. Is it not so? That is why we are looking for who is the creator of the God, that is extending the causality and thinking of a God who has created this universe. The whole objectitude you understand? Including our body-mind personality. It is all running by causality, that is cause and effect chain. Suppose the sun is radiating, the radiation is caused by the hydrogen getting transformed into helium. So the sun is losing hydrogen and becoming more and more helium, and in the process the radiation comes out. Everywhere it is causality. There is nothing. Suppose I burn the book will die and the ash will be burned. Everywhere there is a death and there is a birth corresponding. We are thinking of death for us, but there is a corresponding birth also taking place in the microscopic level everywhere. So cause means cause is going to die and give rise to the effect. This is the cause and effect chain in the whole objective world. But this causal logic cannot take us to the absolute truth. That Nachiketa understood and our rishis understood. That is why they said that if you know anything transcending the cause and effect chain, causality, You tell me about that. You know that the whole science, objective science, is based on causality, cause and effect chain. But here is somebody, or not somebody, so many rishis, they have only looked for which is going, the absolute truth has to be beyond causality. Because cause and effect chain is never going to end. B is the cause of A. What is the cause of B? C is the cause of B. Like that you go ad infinitum. It is never going to end. So if there is any absolute truth, it has to be transcending the cause and effect chain. Poor Nachiketa, 7-year-old, 8-year-old boy is asking Yamaraja, if you know anything like that, you tell me. I am not come here. I haven't come here to listen to about dharma from you. Anyatra asmat krita kritat. Then the third one is anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha. If you know anything which is beyond time, that means beyond past, bhuta means past and bhavya means future. If you know anything which transcends past and future, you tell me about it. Even the scientist will not be able to easily understand. Why? He did not mention present. Past and future. Why? Because present, the limit of present is 0. Suppose, what is present? If you can measure time up to 10 to the power minus 40 seconds, then 10 to the power minus 40 seconds back is past and forward is future. You go on increasing your accuracy 10 to the power minus 100 second, then 10 to the power minus 100 second is past and future. So what is the limit? Limit, you know, calculus? Limit is 0. So in one way of looking at it is there is no present, but it is not so. The present is the eternal, the immortal, the unchanging. That is what is beyond time. That is what is Atma. That is what is our real identity. That is what is Brahman. Can anybody understand this? This is a prehistoric shloka I am discussing. More than thousands and thousands of years ago. How many thousands also we cannot say because there is no history. But we have this history that the thoughts are still there with us and we can understand it. This is our country.
Bhakti's root is service, right? To serve. So the concept of serving or service to everything did not come out in the Upanishads, is my statement that I will posit.
It no matter which one. It did not come in the Upanishad at all, because the Vedanta will make you servant of all.
But that's an inference that I have to make.
No inference. If you practice that, I started with the practice of Vedanta. If anybody practices Vedanta, what for I am coming here, you tell me? Am I not serving you? And what am I doing? Am I to gain anything from you? I could have easily taken to jnana yajna, like our people have satsang.
Yeah.
But I know that doesn't work. It is altogether different to have the person in front and be in his presence. Because through all our interactions, all our talks, what we are supplying is the sattva guna in you. Through your buddhi we are approaching with the vehicle of words and expressions, through your buddhi. But what we are imbibing in you is the sattva guna. So for what we are coming, is it because of any selfish interest or so? Is it only not because of the service? And we know that the best service is to remove the ignorance of people. If we may give food to people, we may give money to people, that is not the greatest service. The greatest service is to make their mind pure and make them knowledgeable, that remove the ignorance we are suffering from. Everybody is suffering only because of ignorance. Otherwise there is no suffering at all. So to remove the inner suffering, mental suffering is the greatest service we understood. That is why that service we are doing. It is a natural offshoot of Vedanta. Vedanta doesn't have to say particularly that you have to serve. They will become servant automatically in their own manner, whatever they think to be the best service to people. We'll stop.
Okay.